Welcome to Hand of Heaven, real people, real stories, all God. I am really excited for this themed episode today. It is something I've just always loved. I've always been interested in. I've always seen the hand of God in creating families through adoption. So today our series is going to be all about adoption. We'll have several guests on telling their stories from different perspectives, and I just love how God works. I found this quote that says, "Sometimes God's miracles arrive not with parted seas, but with paperwork, waiting rooms, tears, and finally the words, 'You're home.'" So our first guest is Nicole. I happen to be lucky enough to teach private voice lessons and musical theater classes to her daughter, who she adopted. And I don't know this adoption story. So I am learning right along with you all. I am so excited to welcome her. I love her. She's just awesome and darling. And I'm excited to hear all about her story. So Nicole, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for sharing this. I'm really excited about this.
Good. So am I.
I love adoption. I don't know why. I've always just thought, oh my gosh, I love how God works to create families in all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
You know? And so I'm really excited to hear your story. So before we start, do you want to just tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what your family is?
I'm Nicole. I now have 4 daughters, and they're amazing. They keep me very busy. Wouldn't change it for anything. But definitely each one has been their miracle in their own way. And so these have all just kind of, this adoption story is just one that's just kind of solidified our family, kind of made it feel more whole.
Oh, I love that. That makes perfect sense.
The timing was only the way God could have put it into play.
Oh, I love that. I'm so excited. Okay, so at the time that you started this adoption process, what did your family look like and why did you decide adoption?
When my husband and I were dating, we kind of dated on and off for like 4 years. And one of the things that we always wanted to do was adopt. We talked about it.
You did?
Which was kind of crazy because, it wasn't just, it's not like it's a popular thing. It's not like it's usually when people do that, they really just can't get pregnant. Some people don't. Some people do it because they just want to offer a home. Everybody has so many different reasons for doing it, but that's something that my husband and I had talked about even before, which was kind of ironic. Like, that's just something I've always wanted to do. And he's like, yeah, that'd be really cool. Me too. And I was like,
wow.
Cool. So, we got married, and it took a little while. We had a lot of infertility problems getting my first one as well.
Okay.
And so it took some time, and it was a painful time, that waiting period of things. And, I remember there being very difficult stories that would come on the news. And one in particular, we were living in the city at the time, and there was a story about this baby that had been born and just put in the trash. And it devastated me, and it really made me question God for the first time.
Really?
And I think that's when I was like, where are you?
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm willing. I'm trying everything. Like, we're doing all the good things, all the right things.
Yeah.
So why isn't this happening for me? But it can happen to somebody who's highly addicted to intense drugs and doesn't even want it.
Just throws it away.
Takes the blessing that was given and just, it was so mind-boggling to me. But it took a while for us to get pregnant with my first. And then after that, we ended up, it had been a couple of years. I had other health issues we kind of had to monitor. And so in a couple years later, we had gone to doctors trying to figure out what was going on. Secondary infertility is what they called it. And
okay.
they were just like, it just is what it is. Everything looks good on paper, but
it's not happening.
This is not happening.
Yeah.
And I'm going, okay. So then they refer you to fertility treatment centers. So I'm doing all the doctor stuff, going to all the appointments, trying to figure everything out. And
your oldest is like 2-ish?
At this point, she was 3.
Oh, 3.
She was about 3
So
at
you're
this
like,
time.
we're ready for a sibling.
We're ready to kind of start moving this along. I was a little older, and I was like, okay, let's just get this ball on the road.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be an old mom.
And did you
but
know?
I don't feel old, but I am
for sure. But like as years go by,
yes.
Did you always know you wanted like 4 children?
No, I actually wanted 6.
Oh, wow.
I did.
Okay. So you're like, we got to get this going.
I wanted
want
a lot
6
of
kids.
kids. I mean, the older I got, the less I wanted, right? But it was just kind of because it, time catches up to everybody, right?
Right. Totally. Yeah.
So, but we'd gone into all the fertility things, and at one point, my husband was just like, maybe it's time to start looking into adoption.
Wow.
And we ended up going into a family service, and we walked in, had a meeting with them, sat down, and it just did not feel right. And I couldn't understand why. I love God's timing, but I don't ever always love enduring his timing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Heck yes.
So we'd gone in and I just left and I was like, this is just not, it does not feel right. I don't know why. This is just really weird. I just want to be able to do this. Like, it was such a more of a reality. There's one thing to say, like, this is something I really want to do, and it is something I wanted to do. But there's also that heartbreak that not a lot of people talk about. There's a grieving that comes every single month.
Yeah.
And it is a reminder every single month. And it is a grieving process. And
like you let yourself get your hopes
Yes.
up and you let
Yes.
yourself go there,
Yes.
and then
Every month.
disappointment after disappointment.
yeah, and it's a lot and it takes its toll, you know, and shortly after all this, we kind of just put it on the back burner, just enjoying our beautiful daughter that we did have. And we kind of were moving along. And I remember my husband just saying, you know, maybe there's something that we need to, let's approach prayer a little differently. Let's do this, and let's sacrifice something, like our time to something, like let's do something different. So instead of doing whatever we were doing, we were dedicating more time to God, right? We were
I
trying
love
to sacrifice a little bit more of our time for him to try and understand his will, because nothing was making sense, right? Like, you're kind of vacillating back and forth between so many things. And so we did that for a little while. And I remember one morning I was up, he'd left for work. He was up pretty early. And I remember getting on my phone and I was kind of scrolling through things and I looked up this adoption agency. And when I did, it pulled up a list of upcoming babies that needed a home type thing, like just a running list of it. I don't know that they do that anymore still, but they did at the time. And I remember just falling into tears because there were so many babies. And I remember just my heart just breaking, and I was like, I'm going to call them. So I called them and I said, what does it take? What does this look like? What needs to happen? And they just said, well, we have an opening this afternoon if you and your husband want to come in and look. And I was like, cool, sounds great. So we jumped on it and we were in, and we started filing all the paperwork, all the different things that you go through with the adoption process, and signing paperwork. And it just all of a sudden felt right.
I was going
Right?
to say, did it feel different than
It felt
the first
so
time you went?
much different.
Weird.
It was so weird because why would it matter, right?
Right.
But it does.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. That's like the first little, like, God's in this. Yeah.
Very much so.
Cool.
Very much so.
Okay. So you're there like the day of, way to be spontaneous. And then you're filling out all the paperwork. And then what are they saying the process looks like?
They're saying you'll begin to receive different situations. You kind of go through, and this is where I had a really hard time that I didn't expect, is it's almost like a catalog of like, what do you expect? What do you want? Like, you know, if the birth mother did certain drugs or things like that, like what do you want? What do you not want? And so you're filling out all these different things, even down to like race. And it's very complex. It's very much like you sit there and you kind of beat yourself up a little bit because you're just like, what am I doing? Like you almost feel like you're picking out a child in some ways. And that part felt really odd to me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
So, you know, there's a point where you can kind of just open it up to whatever and basically let God.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where you get to the point of.
Yeah.
So after doing that, they said, you know, it can take anywhere from like 6 weeks to like a year. It just depends on what kind of feels right. And so we began receiving these situations, as they call them.
Okay.
And so it would just kind of be a non-identifying information of all the things that's, you know, what they're willing to share, what they're not willing to share, history, health history, all the things, right? And I remember just kind of going through these, and they would break my heart because so many of them, like they would list a reason for giving the baby up. And some of them were very, very difficult. Some of them was just like, I have 5 kids and I can't take care of the 6th baby. Some of them were a little bit more heart-wrenching than that. Others, they were just like, I don't know what to do. I'm so young. Like you just pulls at their heart, right? And one of the things that my husband and I really just, we didn't want to have to, we knew what the drugs could do to a baby. And we were just like, oh, we don't want that for the baby that we get. Like, that's just not something we want, right?
Totally. That's
and
so hard.
it removed a lot of situations, unfortunately, but also fortunately, because it was just meant to be that way. And I remember after about, I want to say 6 months of this, I was worn out. I was tired. You see these situations, you're so emotionally invested, you're praying over them, you're crying over them, you're feeling like a terrible person because you're not taking this baby. It's not the baby's fault. And you're back and forth so much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so at one point, I remember I was up at camp with the youth, and I received a phone call, and it was an agency assist is what they called it. And so it was somebody from out of state, and they said, would you be willing to look at this situation? I have a couple more I'll send over your way. And I was like, yeah, sure, but I'm up in the canyons. I'm not getting a lot of reception. I'm like, it's going to take me a few days to get to it. And anyway, I'd come home because I was bringing a girl that had gotten sick home.
Oh, no.
But just a good thing because I was able to get reception and then start looking at the situations,
cool.
which was fine.
Yeah.
And we had 3, I think, that had come in, and this agency-assisted option. And it just, all of a sudden, everything just kind of fell into place. And I can't explain it, but it was like, that's who we need. Like, it was just right there. It was like, I had seen so many, gone through so many, and I had told my husband on my way down, I had said, after we look at these, I'm done.
Oh, wow.
My heart can't take it. My heart is broken.
Yeah.
I said, I need a break from the choosing.
Yeah.
And I think God knew I was at my end, and it was just this moment of, it was just perfect timing.
Wow.
Everything was perfect timing.
Wow. And did you feel like, I don't know that I'm ever going to feel when it's right? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
did you wonder,
Yes.
how am I ever going to know if this is
Because
right?
sometimes life is a choice, right? It's simply just making a choice.
Right.
I don't know that necessarily anyone would have been a bad choice. I think that God is willing to orchestrate something, and if you're willing to wait for him,
Yeah.
it will be that much better.
Yeah.
So would it have been wrong to pick one earlier? No.
Right.
And as a result, I know I ended up with this beautiful little girl that 100% was meant to be mine.
Oh,
No
wow.
doubt. So
Oh, wow. So you are looking at, they send you over this situation, and they send a couple others over too,
Yeah.
right? So like immediately you read this situation and you just have this overwhelming
feeling.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool. I
And my
love when
husband
God
did
makes
too.
it clear. Really?
That was the crazy part, because I emailed him over to him before I left.
Okay.
And
So you weren't looking at these together.
No.
You're looking separate, and you
Yes.
have this experience and he has this experience.
Yeah.
Oh, God is so good.
He really is.
I love that.
He really is.
That's so cool. Okay. So then you're like, I think this is the one.
Yes.
And then what?
And then we called him and told him, yes, this is the one. Let's just kind of figure out what needs to happen here. And because it was an agency assisted option, they transferred us to the agency over in the state that we were looking in. And those attorneys began to call me, and it was a very different situation because they were looking for somebody from out of state because in that particular state, they honor the birth mother's rights, and they kind of focus more on them, which is great. But where that state was, you couldn't compensate the mother for the 6 weeks postpartum like you can in the state that we're in. And so it became it was like, that's what they were looking for. That mother needed compensation. She was obviously going to be out of work for at least 6 weeks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe longer. And so, we started kind of communicating a little bit with the attorney only. She said, okay, send me over your paperwork and I'll run it by her. And I got a call back within 30 minutes. Yep, that's fine. And I was like, that's fine. Like, that's it.
This easy? Yeah.
Is it this easy? Because this has been painstaking, and all of a sudden it's like, that's happening. And you're going, okay.
So does the birth mom have to choose you guys?
Yes.
Okay. So you say, yes, we want this. And then you
she has
kind of
to
apply.
Yes. So you kind of send in your portfolio.
Okay.
For lack of a better word.
Yeah. Your resume.
Your resume, your portfolio of like, here's what our family looks like. Here's where we are. And it really was just one of those situations that just kind of fell into place. And so it was tricky though, because she was supposed to be born like 2 weeks prior, and I had 4 weeks to get ready. It was a late pregnancy. We were getting ready for this baby pretty darn quick.
Yeah.
And I was so excited.
Yeah.
We had no idea what the sex of the baby was.
Oh,
no
you
idea.
didn't?
No
You didn't
idea.
know it was a girl?
No.
Oh, wow.
And I should back up a little bit, because the cutest story was about right when we were putting in for all the adoption stuff, like right before. Like, we hadn't talked to Emma about it much, but she was at the park one day and she was pushing this empty swing. And she just kept pushing this empty swing. And I was like, baby, who are you pushing? Like, I mean, she was an only child at the time. I mean, you have to have a pretty good imagination. It's just mom at home.
Yeah.
But she goes, I'm pushing my sister. And I was like, oh, that's just so sad. She goes, yeah, I've got a sister. And she just convinced. So when we didn't know if the baby was going to be a boy or girl, she's like, it's a girl.
Oh
It's
my
just a girl, Mom.
gosh.
And she knew. And we actually didn't find out until we were on the plane
Okay.
flying out. And we,
Like for the baby
in
to be
between
born?
flights, like the baby had been born.
Okay, the baby
So the
had
mom
been
was
born.
in labor and we booked a flight.
Okay.
Took off. We were in between 2 flights and I got a text message. Hey, it's a baby girl. Just letting you know. She's beautiful. And Emma's like, yeah, I told you, Mom.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
That's so crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Oh my
it
gosh.
Kind of took, it took me a little bit by surprise. I think that's what I wanted for her because I knew she wanted a sister.
Yeah.
And honestly, those two bonded so fast.
Oh, they did.
They really did.
Okay, so tell us about, you
Okay.
get to the hospital. This is like so
So-
intriguing, I think.
Well, we
about
kind of
meet your
have to
baby.
back up a little bit because
Okay.
we got to the attorney's office. So in the state that we're in, so they have 3 days to sign papers. So they can sit and think about it. Well, we were there. We had gone out there. We were meeting with the attorney. And she's like, we have to get the permission of the mom. If you're going to go see the baby, I'm like, I would like to see her as soon as possible. I really just was like, so just ready to do this.
Yeah.
And I remember as we were sitting there, I remember that the social worker had called her and just said, hey, it looks like we've got some addiction in the baby.
And you didn't know that before?
We didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
We had no idea. So they had to go in and talk to her and kind of talk about like, hey, what have you been on? All this kind of stuff. And I remember kind of just being like, okay.
Yeah.
And just kind of taking a breath. And I remember the attorney looked at Marshall and I and she said, I'm going to give you 15 minutes and you can decide if you want to keep going with this or not.
If that's a deal breaker.
And it was just like, I'm like, is this really a choice? Like, we're here. Like,
Yeah.
it felt so much like we're already here. We're already invested. There was no way I was leaving there without this baby girl.
Yeah.
So I remember her leaving and Marshall and I just looking at each other and I was just like, we both just were like, this is our girl.
Yeah.
No
well,
matter
you'd
what.
had that confirmation
knew.
before.
We knew.
Yeah.
We knew.
And maybe it worked out that way. Maybe if she had disclosed that,
It would have
and
been
you would have
harder.
seen the application,
Yes.
you would have turned it down.
Yes.
Maybe it wouldn't have happened.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
maybe it was supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it didn't deter you. You were like,
No,
okay, we'll
it was just
take
this
this.
is what this is, and we're okay. But
Well, by the way,
Yeah.
like during this 3-day waiting period, were you on pins and needles? Like, what if the mom changes her mind?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was hard. It was 3 days for her to sign the papers, and then she actually had 3 months to change her mind.
Oh my gosh. So you take the baby home and then there's
Yeah, and
still
then
no
you're
guarantee.
waiting. No guarantee. So, and I believe it was like 5 months for grandparents to claim some sort of visitation right, if I remember that correctly.
interesting.
So there was some sort of thing, but neither of their parents knew.
Oh.
So it was a very hush-hush situation.
Wow.
And so anyway.
Yeah.
But it was really great because when we went to the hospital, she didn't have to let us see the baby or do any of that, but she gave her permission. I wish I could have met her.
Oh, you
I
didn't
never
meet
did.
the mom.
I've never met them
Interesting.
because it was a closed adoption, and I never did meet her. I wish I would have. I would have loved to. I left a letter. I left a note for her.
You did?
I did.
What did you say in the letter?
You're gonna make me cry.
I know. I'm already crying as I ask the question.
In that letter, I think I just said, "It is such a brave thing that you are doing because I can't imagine doing that, and I admire you so much." And I want you to know she's going to be so loved. She's going to be so well taken care of. And so it was just the least I could do for this mother, just to say thank you.
Yeah.
Because she's completing our family in so many ways.
Yeah.
And it was hard. I wish I could have talked to her, but and that's okay. She wasn't ready for that, and that's okay. But
that's beautiful that you shared that with her. And I think, there might be someone listening right now that's considering, are they going to keep the baby? Are they going to give it up? Are they, what are they going to do? And how beautiful to be like, there are people out here who would love to have your baby, who would love this baby and give them the best life that they could. And I love that you said that's a brave decision. Because
so brave.
so scary.
it is so
hard.
brave.
Yeah.
Because there's a certain responsibility, I'm sure, that is felt there. And to have the bigger part of you know that I need to do something better for this child. That's huge.
Huge.
Right? Like, that's a big part of being a mother.
Yeah.
She was the best mother she could be to her.
Yeah.
And that's just fact.
Yeah.
She was the absolute best mother she could have been by giving her a better shot at life and a better chance. And I will be forever grateful for her for making that decision. I know that must have been heart-wrenching.
Totally.
And so I think, anybody who's considering that, it is heart-wrenching. And I think it's just the cost of being a mother.
Yeah.
In so many different ways.
Yeah. You sacrifice what you want for what's best for that child. That's so beautiful. Yeah. I love that. Okay. So then what was it like when you first saw her?
Oh my gosh. So I had an amazing sister-in-law. She's a photographer, and she actually, I didn't know until we got out there, but she had arranged a photographer out there to come and capture the first moments that we met her.
Oh.
And I'll forever be able to, so grateful for that, because it was such something that you want to remember. But as things go on, things happen so fast, and you forget over time. Yeah. But it's something that is so sealed. And I created a little book for my daughter, so she sees it all the time. We go over it. I show her, this is the first time I saw you. Look how happy my face is. Of course, I'm crying, but it was so happy. Crying. It was a happy cry and happy tears and waiting. And I remember being in the nurses' lounge. They'd stuck us in the nurses' lounge, and I could hear the baby carts kind of rolling up and down. They had kind of an influx of babies at that point. I think there were like 24 or something like that. One of the nurses said it had been like a winter that was a closed-in winter, and there were a lot of babies at this time. That's funny. And so, but I was hearing a lot of them, and then all of a sudden, just this overwhelming feeling, and I knew she was coming down that hall. Right. And I stood up, and I was ready and waiting. Like, she came in, they wheeled her in, and we had nurses in the doorway, and they were in tears as they were watching us. And I remember looking down at this beautiful baby, and Emma's face is pressed against the little plastic container, looking at her new little sister, and Marshall and I are sitting there. And I remember turning to one of the nurses, and I was like, can I hold her? Like, is this allowed? Because in that moment, it felt so much like she was mine, but I also didn't want to get in trouble, because like it was just
like, what's the protocol here?
Yes, exactly. What is the protocol? Yeah. And so they're like, of course you can. She's yours. And I just picked her up and just held her. Oh my goodness. It was as if I had her. There was no difference in love, attachment, anything. It was just so beautifully God, if that makes sense. It was just whole.
Yeah.
And it just made everything perfect. Everything just felt whole for a minute.
Oh, I love that. So, I love that. I bet the veil was very thin at that moment.
It definitely felt that way, for sure. Like, and there would just be bouts of just emotion. And my husband as well. He would just be sitting there holding her, and just all of a sudden tears would just fall down his face.
So he felt the same way. Oh, yeah. He felt like this is our child.
Absolutely. Oh. Absolutely. There's never been a doubt in our mind. And, Emma just sat and held her and loved her and undressed her and took her socks on and off and on and off. And she just sat there and enjoyed it. And I mean, we were there for quite a while. She had to go through she had to stay in the hospital for a little while. And it was really great. Like, just to be able to get to know her and to have that time without, everybody,
the world,
constantly. Yes, the world. It was kind of a very isolated time of, okay, here's where we are and here's what we're doing. And it was really beautiful. Honestly.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love that. That just makes me cry. Yeah. That's so, so sweet. And so how many days were you there before you got to fly her home?
She was there for probably about, I think, so she's there for about 6 days.
Oh,
and then we had to stay a little bit longer, because we had to get permission from the state to leave. Otherwise, it's kidnapping.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
We don't want to.
But I remember the only hotel available, because we ended up staying longer than we had anticipated. Because we kind of thought, okay, 3 days have passed. They've signed. Well, because of some of the withdrawal symptoms, she was there a little bit longer.
Okay.
And a really cool experience at that point was we had called the local missionaries. My husband had called them to come and give her a blessing.
Oh.
And they had come, and they actually ended up coming to her sealing and everything. And turned out that they were from where my husband was from. And so it was just this like beautiful come about of perfect circumstance.
Yeah. No coincidences.
Oh, I do not believe in coincidences.
Right?
Never.
Oh,
No.
God.
No. It's God. And
Absolutely.
you see his hand in so many things, in the easy and also in the hard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in the moments of struggle, in the moments of trying, I found him.
Yeah.
Where, he was always there.
Always there,
But
orchestrating this.
we lose sight of him sometimes in our wanting.
Yeah.
And that's where things kind of go awry. But yeah, she did well. And so we ended up going into a different hotel, but it was on top of a casino.
Oh, no.
I could not wait to get out of there. I remember just going because it was so loud and it was smoky and all the things. And I've got this brand new little baby and I'm just going, oh my gosh, my husband had taken my oldest to the zoo because what's she going to do?
Right.
And so we're just waiting. We're just waiting, biding our time. But
Oh, that's so funny. And then you finally got to bring her home. And I assume no like complications with being able to keep her or whatever. And
No. Every phone call that I got from the attorney's office, that was very much a panic-inducing moment because I was just like, oh, is it like, please no.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I held my breath, I think, for several months. It was very, very hard. And she was an upset baby. She had a lot she had to go through so young.
Really?
She went through a lot. So, and but again, in the moments, that's where we find God, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So then after you adopted her, how much longer was it until you had the rest of your kids?
Okay. So she was only 4 months old and I was pregnant.
Oh my gosh. No way.
I had no idea. I was actually already pregnant, didn't know I was because I just hadn't kept track. She was up a lot at night crying, just going through symptoms of withdrawal. And if you don't know, it's very hard to watch that. And it's very hard to be in that. And again, I found God so much in those moments because there had to be a complete separation of just like, there would get to a point where you get past the frustration, you just like the compassion that would take over, that you could just handle it another day, another night. It's just carrying that burden a little bit at a time. But I was a little bit more pregnant. I was sicker than sick. And I remember telling my sister, I'm just going to take some NyQuil. I'm just going to go downstairs. I'm going to go to bed, maybe sleep this off for a little bit. And she's like, why don't you take a pregnancy test before you do that? And I was like, there's no way. It's been years. Like, there is no way. I have no hope of it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Just humor me. Went and took one, took like 2 or 3 more. And I was like, I remember getting it. And I remember just looking up at heaven going, really? Now I have a baby. Like I have this baby that is so high demand and now I'm pregnant and I'm sick. And it was just this whole, and I was so grateful, but it was so shocking.
Yes. It
was all the emotions all at once.
Not expecting this at all. Yeah. Well, and do you kind of like looking back now, like everything, is in perspective, but do you kind of feel like you were given that infertility at that time because you needed to adopt that little girl at that time?
100%.
And if you had been pregnant, you wouldn't have, of course. No. Why would you have thought that?
No.
And then you were able to have 2 more after her. That's so cool. That's so God's hand.
It was very much
and
so.
I mean, I can assume what this answer is, but do you ever imagine what your family would be like without her?
It would be incomplete. And that's the simple answer.
Yeah.
It would definitely be incomplete. She completed our family in a way that only heaven could have intervened.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I'm so emotional just because it's beautiful, but also because I know her and she's the cutest, spunkiest, most talented. I mean, just joy. She is pure joy, and what a beautiful way that she came into your family like that. Yeah. I love that. Okay. Just really quick, can you tell us if you could talk to someone right now who's like considering adoption or maybe even considering giving their baby up for adoption, what advice would you have for them?
God has a way of answering both mothers' prayers. And that's what I feel like happened so much in my own. He answered the prayer of a mother who didn't quite know what to do, who was trying to do what was right for her kid and gave her the strength to be able to do what she needed to do. And in turn also answered the prayer of a mother who wanted a baby so badly and so desperately and just couldn't fill that role any other way than to have this beautiful birth mother be able to say, here, you can do what I can't right now. And it doesn't mean it won't ever happen again. It's just in these moments, God has a way of really coming for you and letting God prevail in your life and letting God be able to take these moments and utilize them. And if you let him, everything falls into place. It's the waiting part that's hard and the not knowing and the hesitation, but that faith, that will get you through. It is a beautiful thing, and he has a way of answering everybody's prayer. in one beautiful way.
I love that so much. That was like the perfect answer. What thoughts do you have when you look at your child today and look back on the road that brought her here?
I wish I could go back. I think every mother does at some point, right? I wish I could go back and just cherish those moments all over again, because there was so many days where I would just sit there so grateful and just hold this baby and just look at her and just study her, because she was just such a miracle. It was such a beautiful miracle for our family.
Oh my God. I love that. And we were talking about this just a few weeks ago. I forgot that she was the one who was adopted, because she looks like you guys.
Like us.
She fits in, like her personality is like you guys. That is just so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Thank you so much for
so
sharing
welcome.
your story. I love how God works. Like there's no denying that God orchestrated every part of that. And that little girl was supposed to be in your life. Yes. And I love her. I love you guys. That's just so awesome.
She adores you.
Thank you. That's so cute.
She does.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being here. Okay, our next guest on Adoption Stories is Caijsa. Hi, Caijsa.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm excited to be here.
This is so fun.
So fun.
I know a little bit about your story, but I don't know all of it. So
Yes.
I'm really excited. There'll probably be lots of questions I have for you.
I'm open to anything.
I love that. Okay, cool. So Caijsa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Caijsa. I'm 25 years old. I've lived in Utah my whole life. I was born in Provo.
Okay.
I am married. I've been with my husband for over 10 years. We've been married for almost 4.
Okay, were you guys high school sweethearts?
We were junior high sweethearts.
Junior high
Yep.
sweethearts?
Yep.
So when did you, what grade were you in when you guys got
We were in
together?
9th grade.
Oh my gosh, that never works out. You
I
guys
know.
defied the odds.
It's crazy.
That's so cute.
fun.
You grew up together.
Yeah, it's
wow.
crazy.
Wow,
It's
that's
fun.
so fun. I love that so much. And he's such a good guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Such a sweetheart.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I knew that you were adopted, but I don't know much about your story.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see how we
Yeah.
got Caijsa today.
So when I was born in Provo Hospital, it was just my mom and my brother at the time. She had him when she was 16.
Okay.
So she was really young.
Yeah,
And so I
really
came
young.
when she was 20.
Okay, so your little brother was 4.
Yeah, he was 4.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Or your older brother.
yeah, my older brother. He's 4 years older than me. We have different dads, same moms. We're half siblings.
So you're born in the hospital and your mom's raising your brother.
Yes.
And then she has you.
Yeah. And then she had my birth dad come visit me in the hospital once. He only came one time ever.
Ever?
Yeah, ever.
Oh,
They
wow.
weren't together. They just had a one-time thing.
And so he knew he was the father.
Yes, he knew he was my dad.
So he came into the hospital
Yeah.
and he was
he signed his
"Peace
rights
out."
away. Yep.
Oh, he signed his rights
Yep.
away.
And so
Interesting.
he was done. He didn't want anything to do with me or her. I heard that they weren't friends. He was in a band and she was one of his fans, I guess.
Okay,
So
so
she
it
would
was
go
literally
to his
just a
shows.
hookup.
Yeah, just a
Okay.
hookup. And I came to be. And then when I was 4 years old, I guess from what the papers say, I lived in the house with my mom, my brother, my aunt, and her 2 kids, so my 2 cousins. And DCFS got called on her. And what I found out is they did a test on my mom and found out she was into drugs too. So they did a whole investigation into my situation
Okay,
too.
wait. So DCFS gets called on your aunt, who is your mom's sister?
Yes.
Okay. For drugs.
For drugs.
And they go and they check out the aunt.
Yes.
And she's positive for drugs.
she's
I'm
positive
assuming.
for
Okay.
meth, yeah.
And she's got kids there. Then they're like, hey, while we're here,
Yeah, while we're here, let's check on
out
you.
the sister. Okay. Whoa.
And so I guess my oldest cousin was telling the DCFS agents, yeah, I have to take care of my little cousins and my brother when our moms are in the room doing their drugs.
Doing their drugs.
Yeah.
How old was this cousin at the time? Do you know?
I think he's older than us. So he had to be 7 maybe. I
Oh
don't know,
my
he was
gosh.
little.
And he's taking care of all these little
He's taking
kids
care of all of
while
us.
the moms
Yeah.
are doing drugs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that
that's so
crazy?
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So DCFS comes and just is
Does an investigation.
investigating.
Eventually, they get called out enough that they kind of give my mom the choice, you can either go to rehab or you can just give her up right away. So she tried rehab a couple different times and she just couldn't do it. And she just gave up and finally decided to just give me away. And it's interesting because my brother, he had a dad. So when I was taken to foster care, he got sent to his dad.
Oh my
so
gosh.
we got
I was going to
separated.
say, what happened with your brother?
Yeah.
How old were you at this time?
I was 4 when I was taken away.
You were 4. So what do you remember about that time?
So I remember I don't know whose house I was at, but I was at somebody's house and 2 agents came and pulled in and said, "Are you Caijsa?" And I said, "Yes." 4-year-old Caijsa.
Oh my gosh.
And they said, "You need to come with us."
Was that so scary?
I don't, like, as an adult, I don't remember being scared, but talking to my brother, he said everyone was crying. I was screaming. He said it was really sad, but I don't remember it being sad.
Okay.
I just remember being like, okay, here I
so
go.
interesting. I mean, you were so young.
Yeah.
So
I think I just blocked it out.
Do you remember living at the home? You don't at all?
No, I remember glimpses of it. I remember, like, my mom would send us to be with my grandma for a little bit, but I don't remember living with her.
Interesting.
It's super interesting, yeah.
But it is interesting. You remember the day they came and took you away
Yeah.
because that was probably traumatic. It's
think,
probably
yeah,
why,
super traumatic, yeah.
even though you don't remember it being traumatic, it's
Yeah.
probably why you remember it
sure.
because it was like a pivotal memory.
Yeah, like what's happening.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So then what happens? They take you away, and
take
where do
me
they
away.
take you?
My mom had a peer parent type thing that was
Okay.
helping her through rehab, and I got sent to live with her first because she was somebody I already knew.
Okay.
And so they're like, she needs to go be with someone, and she was a registered foster parent.
Oh, cool.
And so I went and lived with her for a couple months, and then I know there was at least 2 between my first and last foster homes, but I don't remember much about them.
Oh, wow.
So
So you were bounced around from foster home to foster
So I think
home?
I was in 4 different ones,
Oh my
if I can remember
gosh.
correctly.
Wow.
But I don't remember the middle 2. The last one, but they're my favorite.
Oh,
They're Sherry and
really?
Poppy, yeah.
Sherry and Poppy?
Uh-huh.
Cute.
So his name's Harold, but I call him Poppy. And yeah, so he was, they were my favorite. I still talk to Sherry. Poppy passed away a couple years ago.
Oh,
but-
so do you know how long you were with them?
I think it was less than a year.
Okay.
I think.
But
I don't
you
know if the
totally
full-
remember them.
Yes. I
Do
love them.
you okay, so they took you guys away or took you away from your mom because of drug use. Was there other things that they took you away because of, or
I
was
think
it just
it was just drugs.
okay?
Yeah, she was addicted to pills and meth.
Yeah. And then was there any abuse that you know of?
So I know for sure neglect.
Yeah.
That was the biggest one.
Yeah.
She would lock us outside.
She would lock you outside.
While yeah. And the neighbors would call on us all the time.
Oh,
Yeah, it's crazy.
that's crazy. I'm kind of glad you can't remember that.
I know. I think that's a blessing.
Right?
God knew I
Totally.
didn't want to know that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so then you go to 4 foster families. Do you know in what span? Was it like in a year?
I
2
think
years?
so. I was adopted at 6, taken at 4. So it was a 2-year span.
Okay, so 2 years as a little kid. That's
Yeah.
like pivotal years. That's when
it's-
you're bonding to people. And do you remember the foster homes other than your favorites?
I remember the first one a little bit. She had 2 sons and her sister lived with us too.
Okay.
I remember it being good. I don't think
Yeah.
anything bad happened there.
Yeah. And do you remember ever missing your mom or thinking you were going back
Yes.
home?
Yeah,
You did.
It's crazy because I don't remember being sad there or hurt there, even though I was.
Right.
And so I would always want to go back to my mom. We had visits in Provo.
Oh, you
at the
did?
little visit place.
Uh-huh.
And half the time she wouldn't show up because she was high. And so I remember that was hard for me
You
as
think
a little
you were
kid.
getting to visit
Yeah,
your mom?
I
and
thought I
then
could
she
see my
would-
mom and then she wouldn't show up.
Oh,
And
that's
I remember being hurt,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. That's so sad. And
It's
how does
crazy.
a 4, 5, 6-year-old
yeah.
even
and you can't
make sense of that?
Yeah, you can't tell them why
Right.
because I didn't get it.
Well, I was going to say, even if you told them why, you don't even
Yeah.
understand what drugs are.
Yeah,
You're like,
for sure.
what? Okay.
But then my grandma would show up. So my birth mom's mom would show up
that's
to the
sweet.
visits. Yeah.
Okay.
And she would bring my brother, so I got to see him,
Okay.
which was good because it kept us closer.
Yeah. Yeah. So you did get to see your brother every once in a while. That was probably comforting.
It was comforting.
It's hard to be taken out of everything you've ever
Yeah.
known, even if though it wasn't a great atmosphere, of course, but it's all you've ever known.
Yeah.
So there's security in that.
Yeah.
Oh,
And we went through the trauma together, so I feel like we're kind of trauma bonded now.
totally.
Even
So
though we're
did your
different.
brother just end up living with his dad for the rest
So
of the
he
time?
lived with his dad for a little bit, but then I think his dad lived in Nevada.
Okay.
And so I think when he would want to come see my mom, his dad would just leave him with my mom, which was not a good situation for him
yeah.
because it made him grow up in that.
Yeah.
stuck in that situation.
Right.
Which nobody should grow up in that situation.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So I imagine in these 2 years from the time you're 4 to 6, we're maybe thinking, hey, let's try to rehab mom so that you can go back to her,
Yes,
right?
that
That's
was the
probably
goal.
the idea.
Yeah.
And so when did that change and why?
It changed, I think, when I was 5. I think they gave her her last chance because she went to jail a few times. I've had one picture that we can upload that it was when I visited her in jail.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know why they let me do that, but
Yeah.
I did, and I got to visit her.
Wow. Do you remember that?
No, not
really?
at all.
Weird.
But when I would look back at the pictures, I was told that was in jail.
Wow. Yeah, that's
wild.
That
Either
is
when
wild.
she was in there or getting out. I don't remember which one it was.
Okay. Okay. So when do they decide she's not going back to mom?
So in August of 2005 is when I was removed. And then my actual adoption date was April 20th, 2006. So
Oh, wow.
About a year and a half later.
Yeah.
So Sherry and Harold had me.
Sherry and Poppy.
Sherry and Poppy,
Yes,
yes.
so
Poppy.
cute.
They only had me less than a year, I think.
Okay.
So once they decided that my mom wasn't safe anymore, that I couldn't go back to her, Sherry and Poppy sat me down and they were like, do you want us to adopt you? And they already had a ton of kids.
Oh,
like,
they
They
did?
had lots of girls. They didn't have any boys at this time. But I guess I told them that they were too old.
No way.
I didn't know that I was being mean. I was just a
You were
kid.
just a kid.
And I think,
You're like, thank you,
yeah,
but
I'm
you're
like,
too
no, you guys
old.
are too old for me, even though they weren't.
Oh, that's so funny.
But I think in my head, I wanted a sister. I've always wanted a sister because I had my brother, but I
Yeah.
always wanted a sister. And their kids were already grown with their own kids. So
Okay.
in my head, I didn't think, oh, yeah, I'm going to get a lot of sisters out of this. I think
Right.
I thought I want someone closer to my age with no kids yet.
Yeah.
And so I told them they were too old. And so they didn't get to adopt me. But
Sorry, you
yeah,
didn't
I'm
make
like,
the cut.
no, not
Yeah.
for me. But I
Okay.
loved them. If they would have adopted me, I'd have been totally fine with it.
Yeah. Yeah, because you love them. So,
do
so
love
you
them.
told them no.
Told them no
And then-
thanks.
and then what?
And then, so this is where it gets confusing.
Okay.
How it worked out was Sherry had a daughter named
Okay.
Lori.
Okay.
Lori was married to Bryce. Bryce had a sister named Teresa.
Okay.
Teresa had a sister-in-law named Carrie.
Okay.
Carrie's the one who adopted me.
Oh, wow.
And so somehow,
So it really was through Sherry and
it
Poppy,
was through
though,
Sherry and
really.
Poppy that found my family.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool. And what was her situation? Did she
So,
have kids? Was
yeah,
she
Sherry,
wanting kids?
So my mom, my
Yeah.
Carrie mom. So Carrie had Savannah. Carrie and Steve had Savannah.
Okay.
That was their only biological kid.
Okay.
And they tried to have kids after, but my mom could never get pregnant. She had a miscarriage. And so they went through the foster care courses to become foster parents.
Okay.
And I guess no kids just ever came to them. They tried for years to get a
What?
foster kid.
So were they thinking we'll foster and then maybe adopt?
Yes.
Like
So they
one
wanted
of
to
those
adopt.
kids? Okay.
Yeah. And so for years, nothing was ever working out. And so my mom told me, my Carrie mom told me, she was like, I finally just said a prayer and said, I'm done. I'm done searching. I'm done. And the next day, Sherry called her.
The
Was
next
like, I have a daughter
day-
for you. Yeah.
She just had to go to God.
Yeah.
I
So she
love
turned to God
that.
and said, I'm done. It's in your hands. If you want me to have another kid, I'm
Make
ready.
it happen.
Yeah. And the next day,
Oh.
Sherry called her.
The next day.
day,
That's
yeah.
so not a coincidence.
I know.
I love that.
It's so crazy.
Okay, so Carrie said, Sherry said, okay, so we've been fostering this adorable little
Yeah.
girl.
We
We
have this
love
girl,
her.
Caijsa.
We're apparently too
Yeah.
old.
Yeah, I'm
take
too old. I don't have enough daughters for her
Yeah.
to have sisters. Even though
But
she
she
had
knew,
many.
yeah, but she knew that that you were going to be adopted.
Yes.
And she knew that,
Yeah.
did she know that your mom was wanting to adopt?
Yeah, so I guess
Okay.
when Teresa found out Sherry had somebody that needed to be adopted, Teresa went to Carrie and was like, hey, my daughter or my
Yeah,
whatever.
foster daughter, yeah.
So this girl needs to be adopted. Are you interested? And my Carrie mom said, yes, tell her, here's my number, give it to her. And so when
Wow.
Sherry called Carrie, Sherry was like, I have this girl, she's 5, she needs to be adopted. Are you interested? And my mom said, yep.
Right away?
Yeah, right away. And Sherry was like,
Really?
you don't know her, you don't know her story, you don't know where she came from.
Yeah.
And Carrie was like, I don't care.
Did she,
We want her.
I mean, have you talked to her? Did she like have a feeling right away? Did she just feel like it was just right?
Yeah, she was like, I don't care. I've been waiting for this.
Aw.
Yeah.
And she probably thought, okay, I just told God yesterday
Yeah.
it's in his hands and
Yeah.
then this happened.
And
So
then
this
she,
is meant
she
to
got
be.
a call. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So-
So then do you remember the first time you met her?
Yeah. So I went to a party at Sherry's daughter and son-in-law's house, and Teresa had told Carrie and Steve to come to the party because I would be there.
Yeah.
So they wanted me to meet them without like, oh, here's your
Without
possible
knowing?
parents. Yeah.
Okay, I
So
love that.
walked into the party. I got to play with my now dad, Steve. I guess he was giving everyone piggyback rides.
Oh,
And
cute.
so it's kind of fun too because the Sherry's daughter's cousins became my cousins because they were cousins. And then so I got to hang out with my cousins before I even knew that they
were
would be
gonna
my
your
family.
cousins.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
It's fun. Yeah.
That's so fun.
I got to hang out with my aunt and uncle before they were my aunt and uncle.
Oh, that's so
that
cute.
was really fun.
Okay, so you're at this party, and do you remember meeting your mom?
I remember.
You remember the piggy rides?
I remember the piggyback rides. I don't remember my mom or meeting my sister at that point.
Okay.
But then after that, they were like, okay, we want to hang out with her one-on-one. So they came to Sherry's house in Orem, and I got to hang out with them. I guess I was immediately like, went up to my sister, Savannah, and I was like, let's go play Barbies.
Oh, you got your sister.
I got my sister, yeah.
Oh, that's so
She's the
cute.
best.
But at the time, you didn't even know that.
No, I didn't.
Okay,
It
so
was,
that's
great.
cute. How much older is she than you?
She's 10 years older than me.
Oh, so a lot older.
Yeah, a lot older than me.
That's so cute.
Yeah, so she was 15 when I met her.
Okay, and then when did you find out these nice people with this nice daughter are going to adopt me?
I don't remember the full timeline, but I know that I had to live with them for at least a year to make sure the courts knew I was thriving in their house.
Oh, interesting. So did they just call it like a foster situation?
Yeah, I think so. So it was just like a trial run for a year.
And did you know that this is a trial run, and
I
then they
don't
might
know if
adopt
I
you?
understood that because I was so little. But yeah, I don't remember. I don't even remember when they told me like, okay, we're gonna adopt you now.
You don't?
I think I just was like, okay, this is my family now.
Yeah.
So,
that's gotta be so weird for a kid to get like bounced around
for
from
sure.
house
I think
to
about it
house.
sometimes, especially when I look at my niece and nephews. I'm like, they would not understand if they went through that too.
That's so confusing.
It's so confusing.
Yeah.
Even as an adult, I look back and I'm like, that's wild that I went through that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, but then do you remember like going to the court and being adopted?
Yes.
Do you remember any of that?
So
what was
I
that
remember going to the courthouse. All our friends and family were behind us, just like in the movies. So you sit with your family at the bench, and then they're all in the seats behind you.
Okay.
And the judge let my sister come up with me, and I guess they let me bang the gavel and say I'm adopted.
Oh, seriously? That's so cute.
And then she gave me a little bear.
Oh,
Remember my adoption.
that's so cute. That's probably the judge's favorite thing to do
for
of her
sure.
whole job.
Yeah,
Or his
I think
whole job.
so.
Yeah.
Getting kids adopted.
Okay, so you remember that day.
I do remember that.
And you remember thinking, okay, this is my family
my
forever?
family. Yeah.
Did you get it then?
I don't know if I think I was still scared because I had been passed around so many times.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this isn't it. I
Yeah.
don't know if I fully understood that this was it.
Yeah.
This was the last one. I didn't have to go anymore.
For sure. Yeah.
So I think I was still a little scared because I didn't call them mom and dad for a long time.
Oh.
I would call them Carrie and Steve. And then eventually my mom was like, okay, you need to start calling us mom and dad because we're your
Yeah.
mom and dad.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, so I would spell it out. I'd call her MOM and I would call him DAD because I did not want to say mom and dad. And it's funny because I would say MOM instead of mom. And my little cousin, she's 4 years younger than me, she would start calling her mom Eminem because she thought I was calling
Eminem.
Yeah, so she would call her mom Eminem.
That's
And,
so cute.
yeah, it was so cute.
So who was that?
That's my
Eminem?
cousin.
Your cousin.
So
Okay,
my
so
adoptive family's cousin.
cousin. So your mom and dad never had more kids.
Never.
It was just your older sister and you.
And then me.
Okay,
Yep.
but you got your sister.
I got my
I love
sister.
that.
Yeah, I
love
love
that.
her.
Okay, I love that. So looking back now, what's your whole take on being adopted and that whole situation? Because now you're looking at it through adult eyes.
Yes. I'm very glad it happened. I have met some of my birth family now that I'm older.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
How
so
did
I
that
met
go?
my birth mom when I was 17.
17. Okay,
I was
so
supposed to wait till I was 18.
Okay.
But my Carrie mom knew I wanted to so bad that she made an exception.
yeah.
And so I finally met her at
So
17.
do you remember why you wanted to meet her?
I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
There's just, when you're adopted, there's something in your head that's like that's my family too.
Yeah.
Like this is my good family and the family I'm supposed to be with, but there's some part of you that's missing.
That's like biological.
Yeah, like that's your family. That's your birth family.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
And was Carrie, your mom, was she always cool with that?
She was so scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she wanted me to, but I think she knew how bad I wanted it, and she just didn't want me to get hurt.
Yeah.
because I had been hurt by her so many times. Her not showing up, her putting me up for adoption, all that.
So she wasn't really worried that you would want to go live
I don't
with
think
her
she
or
was ever
anything.
worried about that.
Okay,
No.
that's good.
I hope not, because
Yeah.
I wouldn't have.
Yeah, you're like,
Especially
hey.
after I met her, I was like,
Really?
I would never go back.
So yeah, so what was this like, meeting your
She-
birth mom?
she's just the typical drug addict. Like she
Mm-hmm.
just, like, I don't know. You can tell her mind's stuck in a younger age.
Yeah.
Because when you do drugs, it fries your brain.
Right.
You never really grow up. And so I could just tell. And she doesn't live the lifestyle that I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up LDS and she definitely was not. And so it was just very different. And
Yeah.
we are not the same. We don't like the same things. She's just
Really?
another lady to me. She wasn't my mom.
So was that kind of good? I don't know if the word is closure, but was that
Mm-hmm.
kind of good to meet her and be like, okay,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I wanted eventually to have a relationship with her, but the more I saw her, the more I was like, I don't care to have her in my life.
yeah,
And I'm glad I got that, because
Yeah.
some kids don't get that.
totally, especially with like closed adoptions
Yeah.
and all these
And
things.
mine was super closed.
Was it?
Yeah, super closed adoption.
Oh,
So I never got to
interesting.
meet my dad.
Oh, still to this day.
Still to this day. He died 11 months before I turned 18.
Oh, he passed away.
Yeah.
So there's no chance you'll
No
ever meet
chance.
him.
Never.
That's so. Have you seen pictures of him?
I've
at
seen
least?
pictures.
Okay.
I look more like him than I do my birth mom.
Your birth mom.
Yeah.
Okay, that's so interesting. So have you seen your birth mom since that first meeting?
I saw her one last time. I think I was 18. Maybe. Yeah, I think I was 18 the last
So-
time I saw her.
Pretty close to when you first saw her.
Yeah.
And was that the final time? Do you think you're
Yeah,
done?
she moved to Iowa after that.
Oh wow.
And I messaged her on Facebook and told her, because she messaged me first and she said, why don't you ever reach out to me? And so I went on this whole rant and said, you don't get to say that to me.
Yes,
And
good
she,
for you.
She blocked me after that. And so
Wow. So you're done.
I'm like, I'm done.
But
You don't get to see my kids. You didn't get to come to my wedding.
yeah. Yeah.
done, yeah.
You kind of have to earn that privilege
Yeah.
to be in your life.
Yes,
For
exactly.
sure. I totally understand that. I mean, I guess what hits me is that there are a lot of kids that have to grow up in the house that you grew up in.
Yeah.
You know,
It's so
like,
sad.
like if they're not reported to the police or if they go under the radar or whatever, like
Yeah.
they have to grow up in those conditions. So looking back now, do you just feel like God intervened to take you out
Definitely.
of that?
Yeah, because I had cousins that had to grow up in that. And like my birth aunt died of an overdose. And my cousins had to see that and witness that and live in that.
Oh my gosh. Is this the aunt that was living with your mom?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So they never
she-
got taken away.
They never got taken away, but you did?
Yeah.
But you were in the same
Yeah.
house. They were doing the same stuff.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Do you know why?
I have no idea. I've
That's
never asked. I know.
crazy.
It's wild.
Weird. But then she eventually overdosed and passed away.
Yeah. She died.
Wow. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. It's very sad.
That's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell people that are thinking about adoption?
Do it. I think
was
you
so
should.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to adopt. If I can't have kids, I definitely will.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
would
it
love to.
saved you.
Yeah, it did save me.
It
Yeah.
totally
Who knows
saved
where I
you.
would be now if I never was.
Yeah. Well, and also I love that you got to be adopted by a family who taught you who God was.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and taught you probably how to pray and how
Yeah.
to turn to, God. That's a huge, amazing gift.
Yeah,
I love
it
that
really is.
so much.
Yeah, I got to be sealed to them.
Oh, you
and
did?
I was old enough to remember a little bit of it.
Okay, that's so beautiful. So you, your mom and dad, and your sister
Yep.
in the temple.
So like,
Wearing all white. You
Yeah,
probably look
all white,
so
yeah.
cute. Do you have
It
a
was so
picture of
cute.
that day?
I do. I
Okay.
can send it to you.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
send it to us. We'll put it up. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so
It
cute,
was so fun.
Caijsa.
Yeah.
So do you feel like at the end of the day, this is how your life was supposed to go?
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah. The things and the people I've met wouldn't have come about if I wouldn't have been taken away.
Wow. Which was probably like so sad and so scary at the time.
Yeah.
But look what it
Yeah.
did.
Looking back, I'm grateful that I was and that she did put me up for adoption.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just love this story so much.
Yeah.
I just love that
Thanks.
little Caijsa. And I saw your pictures. You guys go watch this on YouTube because you get to see all these cute pictures. But little Caijsa is the cutest thing ever.
Yeah.
And to think that she lived in this, neglectful household, locked outside the door, like, thank goodness she was saved.
Yeah.
I love
Thank
that.
goodness for CPS.
Yes, really.
Yeah.
No, really, that's so
That's
great.
a hard job and I wouldn't ever want it, but I'm grateful
Yeah.
for them too.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for people who are maybe thinking about fostering?
I think it's a good idea. I personally would have a hard time because I get attached to things and people
Yeah.
way too. It's hard.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. So good for them.
Yeah.
Good for those foster parents.
Yeah.
I loved mine.
Well, how cute that, especially the last ones that,
Yeah.
fostered you, that they were so loving and so
Yeah.
kind.
So
and,
loving.
Yeah. And a lot of these kids coming into the foster system
Yeah.
have had the opposite of that.
And my last foster parents fostered a bunch of kids.
They
and
did?
They fostered 2 after me, and I ended up adopting them.
They did?
Yeah.
They're angels.
Yeah,
So
they're great.
they apparently weren't too old for those
They
kids.
weren't too old for those kids.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I do wonder if you saying that was like meant to be, because then
I
it
think
led
so.
you,
Yeah.
I mean, as funny as it is, like, that's hilarious.
I know. I feel bad now. I'm like,
They were probably like 40.
I didn't know. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They
To
were
a
not
little
that
kid,
old.
Like, that seems old. But honestly, like, I wonder if that was part of the plan
For
so
sure.
that you could end up with
Yeah,
your
I was meant to
parents.
say that.
Yeah.
Because I needed my parents and I needed my sister.
Yeah.
all the
And what does your mom
opportunities.
say about this whole process?
I think she's happy about it. I think
Yeah.
I just landed in her hands.
Yeah. They were
Literally,
probably
yeah.
so grateful for you.
I
And
hope
it's-
so.
Of course. Well, you're so cute too. And
Thanks.
you're just such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Like, what a blessing. I bet they can't even imagine their lives without you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love adoption.
Me too.
God is so good. That's awesome. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Caijsa,
thank
for
you.
sharing your story. All right. Remember, God is good. Jesus loves you. And the hand of heaven is there for you whenever you need it.
Hand of heaven.
Make sure to follow Hand of Heaven, check the episode notes to connect, and if you've got a Hand of Heaven story, send it our way.